They called him a nobody, a forgotten man sleeping under bridges. But that night, when flames devoured a millionaire's mansion, he became the only one who ran toward the fire. What he asked for after saving the little girl shocked everyone, and revealed a truth no one saw coming. Stay till the end, because this isn't just a story of courage. It's a story of redemption, forgiveness, and second chances. Owen Traw sat under the Boulder Creek Bridge, a cup of coffee trembling in his hands, steam rising into the cold dawn. People walked past without a glance, just as they had for years. He had stopped expecting kindness. Stopped expecting anything. Once, Owen had been a builder, not of mansions, but of dreams. Cabins in the Rockies, wooden homes where laughter echoed through the pines. He was proud, respected, and deeply loved. His wife, Natalie, had eyes that smiled even before her lips did. His daughter, Ellie, her giggles used to fill their little world with sunlight. Then came Afghanistan. A roadside blast tore through his leg and hip, ending his trade and his strength in a single instant. The pain was manageable, the shame was not. Natalie tried to hold on, but when money ran out and Owen's temper grew bitter, she left, taking Ellie with her. Now, the only home he had was made of cardboard and hope too faint to name. That morning, a little girl in a red coat skipped by the bridge. She smiled and waved at Owen, her bright innocence cutting through his gray world. For 1 second, he saw Ellie again, the way she used to wave from their porch. He smiled back, tears hidden behind his beard. When the girl disappeared into the crowd, something in him stirred, something that had slept for too long. A whisper, maybe you're not finished yet. But life, as it often does, had a crueler test waiting. And this time, it would ask Owen to run into fire itself. It started as an ordinary night for the Alden family. Theo Alden, a powerful real estate magnate, sat in his office reviewing proposals. His mansion on Ridgeview Hill glowed warm and perfect, the symbol of everything he had built. His wife Helena was preparing for a charity gala, and their daughter, little Sophie, was upstairs hugging her teddy bear goodnight. "Daddy, will you read to me tonight?" she asked. "Tomorrow, sweetheart," Theo said, kissing her forehead. "I promise." Tomorrow never came the way he expected. Across town, Owen shuffled through empty streets, lost in thought. Lisa Morales, the soup kitchen manager, had told him earlier, "It's not a handout, Owen, it's a chance." He didn't believe her. But her words echoed in his chest anyway. Then he smelled it, smoke. He turned toward the hill and saw flames piercing the night sky. An orange glow spread across the treetops. Without thinking, Owen started running. The Alden mansion was ablaze. Windows shattered under the heat, and black smoke rolled into the sky. Neighbors screamed, phones dialed 911, and sirens wailed in the distance, but it was too late for waiting. Owen heard a child's cry from the second floor. He looked up and saw a terrified face in the window, the same little girl in the red coat. He didn't hesitate. The front door was engulfed. He circled to the garage and kicked through the side entrance, the smoke stinging his lungs. Inside, the house was hell, collapsing beams, fire everywhere. Guided only by the faint sound of sobs, Owen fought his way up the staircase. At the end of the hall, he found Sophie and the housekeeper, Morin, trapped near a window. "Take her." Morin gasped, pushing Sophie into his arms. Owen tried to grab her too, but the flames roared between them. "I'll come back for you," he shouted, but deep down, he knew he might not. Wrapping Sophie in his jacket, Owen turned and leaped through the smoke, down the burning staircase. The wood cracked beneath his feet, fire biting at his back. With one final burst of strength, he crashed through the side door and fell onto the cold lawn, Sophie clinging to his chest. Neighbors screamed. Sirens screamed louder. Theo and Helena's car screeched to a halt at the gates. Helena saw her daughter in a stranger's arms and ran, tears streaming. "Oh God, Sophie," she cried, collapsing to her knees. Theo fell beside them, his eyes locked on Owen. The man's clothes were burned, his face blackened by smoke. Yet in that broken figure, Theo saw something sacred, a man who had done what no one else dared. Owen coughed, struggling to breathe. "She's safe now," he rasped, before his vision went dark. When Owen woke, he was in a hospital bed. His arm was bandaged, his leg swollen, his lungs still raw. Beside him stood Theo and Helena, both pale with exhaustion and gratitude. "The doctors said you'll recover," Helena said softly. "We can never thank you enough." Theo stepped forward, emotion cracking his usually steady voice. "You saved my daughter. I owe you everything. Name your price, a home, a job, money, anything." Owen looked at them for a long moment, eyes wet with something deeper than pain. "I don't want money," he said quietly. Theo frowned, confused. "Then what do you want?" Owen hesitated, then whispered, "A chance. Just a chance to build again." Helena reached for Theo's hand. They understood. Days turned into weeks. Theo hired Owen to help rebuild what was lost, not just the mansion, but smaller homes for wildfire victims in the area. Though his limp slowed him, Owen's hands still remembered how to shape wood, how to breathe life into walls and beams. For the first time in years, he earned not pity, but purpose. Theo and Helena watched in awe as this quiet man taught the young workers about patience, resilience, and redemption. Sophie visited him often, bringing cookies from the kitchen. She called him Mr. Owen the Brave. Yet beneath his newfound peace, a longing remained, the daughter he hadn't seen in years. Then one afternoon, as the project neared completion, a car pulled into the site. A woman stepped out, her hair familiar, her eyes unsure. Behind her stood a young girl with a sketchbook in hand. Natalie. And Ellie. Theo had tracked them down quietly after learning Owen's story. Owen froze. The years fell away in an instant. Ellie's eyes met his, wide and tearful. She dropped the sketchbook and ran into his arms. "Daddy," she cried. Owen held her close, his heart breaking open with gratitude. For the first time since the fire, tears fell freely, not from pain, but from healing. Months later, the new Alden mansion stood tall again, not as a monument of wealth, but of compassion. Theo hosted a small ceremony to honor Owen, presenting him with a handcrafted plaque that read, "For courage beyond measure, and a heart that rebuilt more than homes." Owen looked out over the crowd, workers, volunteers, veterans from the shelter Lisa had once told him about. Helena smiled proudly beside Theo. Sophie clung to Owen's arm, grinning. In that moment, he realized, the fire hadn't destroyed him. It had burned away the guilt, the shame, and the loneliness that had chained him for years. The blaze that could have ended his life instead rekindled it. As the sun dipped behind the Rockies, Owen stood with Ellie by his side, her small hand gripping his. "Daddy," she said softly, "do you still build houses?" He smiled. "Not just houses, sweetheart. I build second chances now." From the ashes of a mansion rose a man reborn. Owen Traz didn't just save a child that night, he saved himself. The fire that nearly destroyed everything became the spark that forgave his past and lit the path toward redemption. Fire, because sometimes, the greatest rescue, is the one we never expect to make.